Welcome to The Lady Killers, a feminine rage podcast. Hello and welcome to The Lady Killers, a feminine rage podcast. I am your host, Jennifer's Body Adams, and in the pod time continuum, we are recording this episode on June 8th. Ta-da! But it's dropping on the last Thursday of June, so we are a little bit ahead of the game, and that's why it's just now occurring to me to say Happy Pride, everyone! Yay!
Happy Pride!
Happy Pride! I mention it because I'm wearing my Y'all Means All shirt, which, hold on,
I love it.
Which I got at Franklin Pride because even down here in the deep South, we still have Pride festivals, and it was so fun.
Amazing.
I was also telling the gals that I got a shirt that says cunting season that I'm so excited about. And I mention it because, one, I like it. It's cool. And there's some hunting and, dare I say, cunting in the movie that we're going to talk about today because we got some mean ladies and they have claws and scales and it's pretty cool. Animals are continuing to attack and these animals are ladies. In the episode we're talking about today, which is a little known movie called Jurassic Park. If you've heard of
Deep
it.
cut.
Deep cut. I know.
I know it'll be hard for people to track down, but
I know. Hey, but like we like to take risks like this because we really like to promote these obscure films and introduce them to our audiences.
These indie filmmakers. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. Steven Spielberg, who, needs some recognition, frankly.
Yeah.
It's about time he gets his flowers, right? But I'm not alone. I'm joined in cunting season by a fabulous panel of lady killer and maybe dinosaur experts. Shelby, say hello and tell us what's your favorite dinosaur.
Hi, I'm Shelby Novak, and my favorite dinosaur is the Gigantosaur because it's kind of like the T-Rex but bigger. And when I was a kid and we were learning about dinosaurs in school, I remember my teacher explained, like in reference to how big our classroom was, how big a T-Rex would be, and then explained how big a Gigantosaur would be. And I was like, and despite my shirt, I do have a T-Rex shirt on, but I was like, well, fuck the T-Rex. The Gigantosaur was bigger.
That's
its skull was like almost 6 feet long. And from a very young age, I was like, why wasn't the Gigantosaur in the movie? I don't know. I think it might have been in the later movies, but it turns out it's because they didn't really but they didn't figure out how like big they were until like 1995 after this movie came out. But
maybe
so
because
I like to think
of this movie.
yeah, I'd like to think that if they had discovered her earlier, she would have been the star of the show. And literally the only reason is my like 6-year-old brain being like bigger dinosaur, and that's
bigger, better.
That's the beginning and end of it of why it's my favorite.
Dino size queen, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, look, more teeth. I do think that one.
Yeah.
I do think that one might be in the new Jurassic Park Rebirth, which I did see.
Probably.
Theaters.
I haven't continued on through all of the Jurassic Parks. I
have seen them all because I have children, and they made me see them all many, many, many times. For a while, we would fast forward through the scary parts, and now we just go all the way. It's fun because it's not so scary anymore. But well, Rachel, say hello and tell us what's your favorite dinosaur.
Hi, Rachel Reeves here. And it's funny. I was like, wait, I think my favorite might also be considered cunty. I think I always liked the Stegosaurus. All those like spikes on its back, and it's just very decorative and very
like
flashy. Pretty cunty to go out there and be like, look, I got this. Wait, do they have the spiked tail too?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I kind of like that. It's not the biggest, but it's flashy, well dressed. It's a well dressed dino. So
it is a well dressed dino.
Sharp.
With the accessories,
Yes.
Yeah. Well, my favorite is the Triceratops, and I don't know. I just like the horns.
I love that would probably be my second favorite. I love them.
They're cool, and they got that frill. And I know it's Dr. Grant's favorite dinosaur too. But fun fact, I introduced him to the Triceratops. Like, I liked them first. I discovered this dinosaur before Dr. Alan Grant, Sam Neill discovered him. So this is my favorite. But I just always thought they were cool.
Yeah, and like
Mhm.
Sarah, Land Before Time, right? That character.
Yes.
Yes.
Was that
Maybe
her
Yes.
that's
name?
part of it. I can't
My
all I
my
remember is that I
memory serving me
cried a
right.
lot.
Yeah.
No, I think that was a good
Yeah.
memory pull. That sounds
Yeah.
right. Her name was Sarah, right? Yeah.
Also, that "If We Hold On Together" song, Diana Ross from The Land Before Time.
God.
Mhm.
I know, it was on my playlist for a little bit, so yeah, good song, good song. Well, this is also a good movie. Hot take, Jurassic Park good. It's so funny, I was watching this movie yesterday, and I was like, "Man, this still holds up. This is
Yeah.
still,
It's such
like,
a fucking good like,
really
the end,
good."
I wanted to, like, applaud. I was like,
Right?
"What a fucking good movie." Like,
Dude,
to me, a perfect movie. We'll get
I think
into
so
it, but,
too.
like,
Yeah,
ugh,
and
yeah,
still just as good, like, my kids were super into it, just as much as I
yeah.
was back in the day. But yeah, we will get into it. Before we do that, let's go into our first category, her story.
I am so much happier now that I'm dead. Technically missing. Soon to be presumed dead. Gone. And my lazy, lying, cheating, oblivious husband will go to prison for my murder.
This is a section where we tell the story of the film. Spoilers abound, so listen at your own risk. And before I do our synopsis, I want to ask the audience. We are, just talking over some stuff, just doing some cunting plans, Your cunting podcasters. I'm just going to say that word forever now. I like it.
I love it.
After years of being just scandalized and clutching my pearls every time, now I'm like,
Have you
well,
guys seen the new, J.Lo, rom-com, Office Romance? It just dropped on
no.
Netflix, like, a couple days ago.
No.
Oh, as of recording, but, there's, like, a whole joke about him being British and using the word cunt in, like, an office setting and getting in, like, super trouble with HR and him trying to explain, like, "No, it's not, like, a bad word in England," and yeah, I love
It was a
that.
compliment.
It was a compliment.
Oh, so
Yeah.
yes, we're British now too.
We're
So,
British now.
that's why it's just not a big deal where we come from. I say with my southern accent. Anyways, we're considering cutting down on the synopses. Maybe not even doing them for movies like this, which is kind of ubiquitous. Like I could just say it's Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park stuff happens.
There's
But we want to hear
dinosaurs.
from you. Yeah, there's in
Dinosaurs.
a park dino DNA, which is but let us know. What do you think of the synopses? And it's not. It's not going to hurt our feelings or anything. Just let us know. Or would you be confused? Like, could we maybe do them for lesser known movies? Just let us know what you would prefer. You can comment in Spotify, or you can find us on social media, or you can
Or you
email
can
us.
email us at
Yeah, at
ladykillersrage.
ladykillersrage at
Yeah.
gmail.com. Woo! Only took me 4 times of editing it out wrong. So, anyways, okay, but today we are going to do a synopsis because we wouldn't change things up on you without a warning. Okay. John Hammond is a billionaire parks guy on the verge of opening up Jurassic Park. But wouldn't you know it, the dinosaurs he's genetically engineered keep doing what dinosaurs do and eating people. So his backers are kind of nervous and thinking about pulling the plug, unless he gets the endorsement of a few experts. Dr. Ellie Sadler, a world renowned paleobotanist. If she signs off, then the whole world will go to Jurassic Park. Just kidding, they want the men's opinion. Ellie is joined on a weekend excursion to Jurassic Park by Dr. Ian Malcolm, a slutty mathematician and chaos theory enthusiast who definitely has a podcast these days,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And Dr. Alan Grant, a smoking hot paleontologist and Ellie's partner in Dinosaurs and in the bedroom. So they get to Jurassic Park and the tour is going great, except that Hammond's grandkids are along for the ride. Tim is really into dinosaurs and Lexi is a hacker. She also happens to be a vegetarian. Those two things have lived in my brain for many, many years. Also, they can't see any dinosaurs except for a sick Triceratops. The group split up to deal with that while an evil and sloppy tech guy, who is also in Seinfeld, turns off some of the power to steal embryos from a rival company. Dun,
Newman.
dun, dun, Newman. They end up right by the T-Rex paddock during a storm, and surprise, the T-Rex breaks out. She kills the blood-sucking lawyer, because that has also lived in my brain for many, many years, and gives Malcolm a serious but vague wound that requires him to unbutton his shirt for the rest of the movie, even though I think it's a leg wound.
It's on his leg. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. But
mhm.
it's so I just
Gotta let it all breathe, you know?
we do. Yeah, he's been through a lot. Okay. He's got to let that shaped chest breathe.
Or pop your shirt off
And
when
you know what?
it
I'm
gets
not
rough.
complaining because we'll talk about it, but he is the slut of this movie. So Grant saves the kids and winds up in the park with Tim and Lexi, which sucks because he officially does not like kids. But wouldn't you know it, he learns to love, and we'll talk about it. The dinos all officially get out and start trying to eat everyone because that's what dinosaurs do. But Grant and Ellie and Hammond and Malcolm all manage to survive. But at the last minute, they're threatened by the evil velociraptors who can open doors and are small enough to fuck with them in kitchens and throughout the visitor center. All seems lost when Grant, Ellie, and the kids find themselves cornered by the velociraptors. Thank goodness Lady T-Rex saves the day. She eats/attacks the raptors, and our new nuclear family escapes to fly off for other sequels and adventures.
Hell
Dun,
yeah.
dun, dun,
Da-da,
dun, dun, dun,
da-da,
dun, dun, dun,
da-da,
dun,
da-da.
dun. And
Yes.
everybody in the world started saying, I do think that dinosaurs and birds have a lot in common because we're all experts now.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So, Rachel, what is your story with Jurassic Park? This is a first watch for you, right?
Yes, yeah, I never heard of this Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. Oh, also, what's your favorite part, too?
Ooh, choices,
Ooh.
choices.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. It's one of those movies. It's like, wait, when did I first see this? Because it's always
Mm-hmm.
it's always been there. You
Yeah.
Yeah.
talking about like ubiquitous. It's just like part of cinema, right? Cinema
Mm-hmm.
history and stuff. So I know I didn't see it in the theater, because I and my family just, three kids. It's expensive. It's always been expensive. So this wasn't something I saw in the theater, but definitely saw when I was a kid, and have probably seen, I don't know, a dozen and a half times since then.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it still just holds up so well, and is always, every time I watch it, I'm like, yeah, this movie rules. Like, I'm kind of expecting it to, I don't know, show its age a little bit more, or drag in certain parts, and
Mm-hmm.
or just because you know what's happening, for it to be less exciting. And it's like, no, it's not. This movie
It's not.
absolutely rules. And there was a documentary that came out a couple years back. I don't know if it was, I think it was
Yes, and it was
like
so good.
was it Jurassic Punk, I think is what it was called.
Something like that.
Yeah, and it was about, the guy who helped kind of develop the CGI of like
Yeah.
how the T-Rex like walk, and kind of like made that breakthrough in being able to help develop some of the CGI technology to merge along with the stop motion and the animatronics and stuff. And it was just like such a fascinating
It
documentary.
was
So if
so bad. And
anybody's
you hear it out loud, and it's like, well, it's a documentary about the guy who helped with the CGI. And that sounds
Mhm.
crazy but it's so good. It's so fascinating. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so good. Yeah.
And just like a really interesting story, and just kind of focused on something that I feel like we kind of take for granted now,
Mm-hmm.
but just how like revolutionary that was at the time, and how
Mm-hmm.
like focused he was on like, I have to make sure this dinosaur walks the correct way, and getting it to translate to screen. So a really interesting story. So it's great on screen. It's great behind the scenes. Like, every part of this movie is just so much fun. And my favorite part, I think, I mean, just the whole like initial T-Rex sequence.
Mm.
As soon as like you see that like
So good.
claw on the fence,
Yes.
from there till that sequence ends, that's a very long part. So I'm sorry
Mhm.
for hogging that whole like
That's
20
my same.
minutes.
I had the same answer. Is the whole T-Rex Jeep scene, like the whole thing? I don't care how long. That's my favorite part. It's the whole
It's
Oh, it's
thing.
so
so
good.
good.
It's so
Like,
good.
what a great way to show us that the power is off, too. It's just the
Mhm.
claw.
And then the
It's
sounds, the sound design is so good. That pop, 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 like when it starts popping off. Oh God, so good. So
I
good.
love it. And then just like I was thinking about the whole thing because it is long, but it has all of these distinct elements of it because there's the kids in the car, like when the T-Rex,
When
like,
the
and they're like
yes,
putting their
and
hands
they're
up,
putting their hands up.
and we try to recreate that moment in every movie. And I think Jurassic World, uh, hot take, I like Jurassic World. I think that might be my second
Was that
favorite
the
one.
newer, the first of the newer set
That's
of
the
them?
first one with Chris Pratt. I
I
like
did
it
see that
because
one.
of
I
Chris
did like
Pratt.
that one because they has
I'm
the.
kidding.
I like the ocean dinosaurs too. I
Yeah,
like
the
the.
megalodon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is really cool. And side note, my neighbors and I always talk about megalodon, and so that's what I might accidentally say because it just kind of rolls off my tongue now. That's what she said. But yeah, and then like with the car turning or and then
When
sneaking
they're
and
in
then
the
pushing the
mud
car
and they're
over,
sinking in the mud,
and I'm
like,
like, they're
God.
gonna drown in that mud,
even
you know?
behind the scenes of putting 2 children in, like, quicksand of mud, I know there were fail safes, but still they were
Yeah.
actually, like, sinking in mud, like, oh, so
Well,
cool.
and I was thinking about it this time because turning the flashlight on is the dumbest thing she could possibly do, but that is
Turn it
exactly
off.
what a kid
What a
would
kid would
do
do,
too. I
yeah.
was like, well, that makes sense. And, also the lawyer left. That was a dumb thing. And then Ian fucks the whole thing up too. Like, if Ian just
'Cause
doesn't get out of the
he
car
couldn't
this
let
entire
someone else be
movie,
the hot hero, he had
exactly.
to,
Is
mm,
just a himbo with a math
mhm,
degree.
yeah.
Well, okay, Shelby, what's your story with Jurassic Park?
Like Rachel, I don't remember the first time I saw it. I think I was 5 or something when it came out, so I doubt I saw it in theaters. But I've just always seen it. It's a part of me. It's a part of I feel just I don't know. I feel like it does feel like a part of me. I don't know
Uh-huh.
why. Like I love this movie so much. As I said before, my favorite part is the entire T-Rex sequence. But it's also kind of but because it's just so like I put this movie on and I've seen it so many times that it was one of those where I was like, of course I'm gonna watch it again for this podcast, but I'm like, oh, I can like do some other stuff. I can like be
Mhm.
cleaning and doing stuff. And I was just parked on my couch just watching. Like no phone, and the fact
Mhm.
that a movie I've seen 500 billion times can still make me just like zone in, not look at my phone and just drop everything to just watch. I mean, it's just a testament to the storytelling of this movie. And yeah, I can't even tell. I've been on the ride a bunch of times at Universal Studios cuz it rocks too. The ride is awesome. Um yeah, it's just perfect movie. Perfect. I like storytelling wise, like I was watching it this time through a lens of like, what would I change? What isn't actually as good? But now that I'm an adult and I'm watching it, like, what would I actually like critique? Just because now this is the first time I've ever looked at it through a I'm going to discuss it lens. I've never
Yeah,
discussed it on a show before.
I haven't either.
There's not a single frame I would change of this movie. Not a single thing. And I'm like, I don't know if there's any other movie in the world that I have ever felt that way about. So
Yep.
yeah. Hmm.
2 hours and 7 minutes also, I just looked on IMDb, which means you can do it, directors. You can make a movie that is not 3 hours, and it is still good? But yeah, so economical, like, we get exactly what we need. Have y'all read the book too?
No, I've always wanted to read the book, and I have not.
I
Have you
read
read
it within the last, like, year,
Oh,
and
really?
Wow.
yeah, so, like, finally got around to it, I guess,
Mhm.
and it's a good
It's
adaptation.
it is a really good
Really?
adaptation. There's
Yeah.
there's a part with the aviary, and that's really and then we
There's
also
an
get
aviary?
there's an
Oh.
aviary. Now that we do see that in Jurassic Park 3, but it's
Mhm.
really cool. And then we get to the bottom of the big pile of shit mystery of like why the dinosaur is sick. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. So I think this is a really great adaptation of that book. I got assigned that in high school and in college. So I have read it multiple times. And yeah, I remember talking chaos theory became a thing that we were talking about in school, because listeners, when I was 13 is when this movie hit theaters. Sammy was born this year. So,
Oh, yeah, she
you
was born
know,
this yeah.
I am
Mhm.
Jurassic Park years older than Sammy. Um, I don't remember if I went to see this in theaters, but this is lore that I always thought was true. It's not. My cousin, Matt, went to see it, and he's like a month older than me. And I heard back that it was too scary. It was too gory, and they got bad feedback. And so then they edited the scenes and they put a leaf in between some of the dinosaurs eating the people. Like you actually saw Nedry get torn apart. You actually
I love
saw him, old
old
dude.
urban legends
I
that
know.
Yeah.
I
And
love it.
And so I went after those edits had been
Those
made. I
edit
wonder if that's just how I could sell it to my mom or something? And
No,
I
mom,
remember
they took
seeing
all the bad stuff out. That's actually a brilliant 13-year-old thing to say.
it's
Yeah.
like they edited it. It's fine. It's not scary. But I that was one of the first things I heard was that it was really gory and gruesome? And now I look at it and I'm like, it is a little scary. Like I remember the first time Aaron watched it when he was probably like 7 or 8 because we were like,
Mhm.
"Dinosaurs are cool, you should watch this," and the other ones were starting to come out, and he was scared by some of the dinosaur stuff. Like, it is
See
scary,
that?
you know?
Yeah. When you see
Um
Samuel L. Jackson's arm pop out, I remember as a kid that being like, whoa, that's an
Yeah.
arm.
I do
But
wonder if this has introduced, like, a generation of kids to horror, like,
I wonder, 'cause
survival
Totally.
horror.
watching it this time, I was definitely like, "This is a horror movie." Like, I would call this
Yeah,
a horror movie.
absolutely.
All the But speaking of them, editing, I did get an edited version. So there is an edit they did, and it's oh my god. Whoa. Snake
Which hot doctor? Is it when Dr. Malcolm takes all of his clothes off to heal from his
Dr.
leg wound?
Malcolm, thank you. It was Dr. Malcolm, but it's the
Dr.
part where
Jeff Goldblum?
he talks about the pile of shit. And if you watch it on Prime, that is the version where they changed it to crap instead of shit. And for some reason, Prime has. So I started watching it on Peacock, and my Peacock app sucks. It always does. And literally, the audio wasn't synced up. So I was like, well, it's also on Prime because again, this movie very hard to find, very hard to track
Right.
down. It's literally streaming everywhere. So I was like, I'll go over to
Mhm.
Prime. And so I went over to Prime. Audio was good, so I stayed with that version. And I hear him say crap, and I was like, did he just say crap? And I rewound it, and it was like, am I having a Mandela effect? Like, what is happening? I looked it up, and sure enough, he does say shit, but there is a version they did for TV that they changed to crap. And for some reason, Prime AMC subscription has that version instead. And I actually didn't look further, but I think there are also other things they changed for TV. So I accidentally watched the TV. Like, I'm like, do people know this? Do people know he said shit? Like, you see his mouth say it too, but the ADR comes out crap. And I'm like,
Mm.
so I don't know. So Jen, you were not wrong. They did do some weird
Okay.
edits later, you know,
Well, and thank
and
goodness they did because we can't have that kind of language.
we can't have that.
It's
Yeah.
funny. We're watching Aaron just watches everything now. He's
Mm.
11 and Corey's like, you can watch whatever you want. Human Centipede, go for it. Not really. Nobody email me. But every time somebody says fuck, I'm like, don't say that word, buddy. And he's like, yeah, I know. And then Corey is like, you have to stop saying that. I'm going to start telling him, do say it. Because Corey is just like, just don't get caught saying those words. Anyways, so I took this VHS to college with me also. I said that about Deep Blue Sea because they lived right next to each other.
Oh my
And
God, that's
this was
beautiful.
my go-to. When I of course waited till the last minute to write all of my papers, I would put this on and then watch it all night long while I was writing the paper because it was background sound. I'd seen it so many times and then I would just look up during the good parts and then keep working. And then visceral memories of writing about like the Reformation while I'm like
I
watching
love how
Jurassic
memory
Park.
works in such a fun way. Yeah.
So funny.
That's,
And the reason I asked what your favorite part is because my favorite part is the first time they see the dinosaur.
I
It's
mean,
Yeah.
so
when
good. Like it
he
makes me
moves her head
cry.
around, like, it's just
Yes.
classic.
And like
Yeah.
these reaction shots too. Like I try to think if I could do a good reaction shot and
To nothing.
yeah,
When yeah.
exactly. And it looks so good. And also the dinosaurs look so good. Like the special effects that you were talking about, Rachel. I remember that was a big deal when it came out. I remember
Yeah.
because Terminator 2 had just come out too. And so we were really kind of revolutionizing special effects. Titanic was another one that I remember that we were really talking about how we did these kinds of things. And those three movies still hold up.
Mhm.
Like I was kind of looking for the wires, the Jesus cables, if you watch The Boys.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of moments where I'm like, oh, this is a green screen, but it still
There
looks
are a couple
better than
moments where
some
I thought I
modern
saw
stuff.
actual wires. Like, there's when the car flips over, there's a wire that's coming off, and I was like, "I think
Mm.
that's the wire." But it was, like, exciting because it was like, this is old school boots on the ground effects. Like,
Yeah.
I love it, you know? I love
Yeah.
it.
And
Put those kids in danger.
right.
Yeah, flip that
It's such
car
a
over with children inside.
Well,
Yes.
and that's the other thing because, like, we got the car in the tree part too. Like, that's part of the T-Rex scene too. It's just and the dialogue, like, well, at least you're out of the car or you're out of the tree with Sam
Yeah.
Neill's super hot little, like, half Australian-ness, It's just
Yes.
this movie is
When the
perfect. I
kid
love it
says,
so
"We're
much.
back in the car."
No, at least you're out of the tree. Oh my God. I just imagine that because that had to have been ADR too. And I just imagine them in studios saying, like, Tim's like, we're out of the car. So, and the kid performances are great in this
They
too. Like,
are.
these
Oh,
kids,
my
like,
favorite Nightmare on Elm Street child popped back up.
Yes, I forgot
Yes.
to mention Freddy
back.
Krueger's son, or
Freddy
would-be
Krueger's
son, or
was
maybe
there.
new version of Freddy because he takes over the soul. We're not quite sure.
We never really got to the bottom of it, but yeah, there
I
was
don't think the movie, no.
creepy child from my favorite Nightmare on Elm
Yeah.
Street was there,
Shelby's favorite
being
movie
just
of all
as
time.
creepy and annoying. Yep.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, listen to our episode on the Dream Child.
And you think I'm
so-
joking, but unfortunately I'm not.
Hey,
So.
we rode real hard for Nightmare on Elm Street 5, and I have no
We
regrets.
did.
That was
None.
really fun. All right, everybody, hold on to your butts because we're going to the next category. Who is she?
I just wish we could all get along like we used to in middle school. I wish that I could bake a cake made out of rainbows and smiles and we'd all eat it, be happy.
She doesn't even go here.
Do you even go to this school?
Also, I'll probably use that for every transition because it's so fun. Also, Samuel L. Jackson says it twice too, so if
Do
you can
it.
do it. But what I need is a cigarette that's just kind of
Yeah, just
loosely
dangling.
flopping around for every second that I'm on screen, you know? Okay, so our villains, we have the Raptors, and I'm going to quote Muldoon here. They show extreme intelligence, even problem-solving intelligence, especially the big one. We bred 8 originally, but when she came in, she took over the pride and killed all but 2 of the others. That one, when she looks at you, you can see she's working things out. She's a
Boss
clever
babe.
girl. I know, exactly. She was the
Love
first
it.
girl boss. You know?
Clever girl.
Clever
Mhm.
girl. Okay, and then we have the T-Rex, and I love that she has kind of become the hero of the franchise, you know?
Yeah, she has cameos in the others, right?
She
like,
does,
pops-
yeah.
Yeah, love her.
Especially
Mhm.
in Jurassic World, where that
That's
literally is what
right.
saves
She
the day.
saves them. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay, and then also the Dilophosaurus, and I think those are the ones that we see eat people in this episode or in this
Yeah.
movie. But they're all dinosaurs and they all eat people. And that's one thing that I do kind of like about all of the sequels is that it's like everyone has their dinosaur, their big bad dinosaur, you know, and then the T-Rex becomes kind of the she's on our side actually, you know. And then the victims are humans. Okay, we're adding a new category for Dr. Malcolm, slut of the movie.
Yeah.
Rachel, we talked about this in Deep Blue Sea.
We did.
Because oh God, he just wants his kids back, and I'm forgetting his name.
Thomas Jane?
Thomas Jane is
Mhm.
the slut of
the movie.
Deep Blue Sea. Yes, so I may be asking for every movie. Okay, motive, dino science, and our weapon is dinosaurs. So pretty straightforward here. Okay, the reason that I brought up the T-Rex kind of becoming the hero of the movie is I remember being really stunned by the ending of this when I was younger and like, oh, they can eat each other. They're not just eating humans because they
I
never
remember
seen
that
humans
being
before.
very disturbing as a child. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but it's also like a hell yeah movie, you know, especially when
Yeah.
she roars and that like banner
flutters
falls down.
down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfection. That's when I'm like, yes, that's Steven Spielberg. Like, he knows what to do.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. So, Rachel, who are the heroes and who are the villains in this movie?
Well, I do not think any of the dinosaurs are villains because they're dinosaurs. They are animals
Mhm.
being animals, you know? Like, I'm not going to blame them for literally doing what they do
Yeah.
and not knowing better because they were dropped into a world that they're not familiar with. So they're just surviving the best that they know how.
Mhm.
I think the villains, let's see, capitalism,
Yes.
a big villain here.
Mhm.
Greed, hubris, the
Hubris.
hubris of man.
Thank you. I was going to say that too. Yes.
Yes. I mean, we've got a real Frankenstein monster scenario going on here. And, but, you know, come on, let's see. Look, I think that I just want to call him Newman.
Yeah.
What's his
I think we can call him Newman. I think that's fine.
Nedry.
That's not his name, Rachel.
Nedry. It's close.
It is close. I think
he's-
intentionally.
He's clearly a villain
Mhm.
because, listen, I'm not saying everything would have turned out peachy keen with Jurassic Park if he had not shut everything down so that he could steal the embryos, so that he could get his money and get them to competing, I don't know, science entities. But that's kind of what happens in this movie is he shuts that all off, and that's what allows these dinosaurs to escape, and everything kind of goes from there. That was probably going to happen, whether on purpose or not, at some point. Seems to be some security issues with the park in general. So Nedry's a villain, but I also think Hammond has some responsibility to bear as well because, okay, you're an old rich white dude, so you think you can do whatever the fuck you want and like, I don't know, blanket it in altruistic, like, oh, everybody's gonna have access to this. And like, the science is very cool. Like, don't get me wrong, but
Yes.
like, yeah, I mean, Malcolm says it best. Like, did they ever stop, just because they could, did they ever stop to think that they should?
Yeah. Yeah. And they didn't
Malcolm
because
says
they're
a lot
men.
of stuff best. I mean,
He does.
He does. Yes. I forgot to quote when I was calling him a slut too, which I say with love because
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, I
He's a
love
slut and a wordsmith.
yes, he is. Yes, yes.
Which is,
And
he's like an old-timey bard in that way, they were all sluts and wordsmiths going town to town,
they
being
just
poetic and hot.
just going park to park, just being slutty, picking up
Yeah.
future ex-wives. I love this whole like, yeah, I'm married occasionally, always on the lookout for a future ex, Mrs. Malcolm. It tells you all you need to know. Well, that and his black leather, because I just think about
that he
those
wore
now.
to the tropical island. Yeah.
It's like when Ross takes a chance and wears like those leather pants,
Those
and
leather
then
pants. Yeah.
and then he can't get them off because they shrink or his legs expand or something, and he has paste pants. Anyways, that has always reminded me of Malcolm. Shelby, what do you think? Who are the heroes and who are the villains?
I mean, heroes, I feel like this is a great movie, and I feel like Spielberg does have a knack for this of finding like heroes that weren't meant to be heroes, but they become heroes in the face of danger. And I mean, we've got these, two archaeologists. They are not supposed to be heroes. Like, have you met an archaeologist? Like, no offense, archaeologists. That was not to besmirch you. It's
Paleontologist?
paleontologists. I'm so sorry.
Laura Croft
Look,
is about to punch you in the face like that.
I'm gonna
Indiana
get
Jones
kicked
is
off
like,
the
don't confuse me
podcast.
with that guy.
Sorry, everybody. As hot as they are. By the way, this is the first time I've really had an appreciation for how hot Sam Neill is in this movie.
Same.
Like, I don't know what it was.
It's
I've
because
never
he gives off dad energy. And when I was 13,
am
I
at
was
the
like, well,
age
he's-
now of like Sam Neill hot in this movie. There were so many years where he was just like, oh, the cool paleontologist guy. And now I'm like, hey, paleontologist guy.
I
The
remember
part
I'd
where
never seen him before.
this is not to do with the question at all, but there was a part where Dr. Malcolm asks him like straight up, like, is Ellie like available? I forgot how he says it. He said something about is she available? And Sam Neill just kind of like looks at him and he was like, oh, are you together? And Sam Neill just kind of like nods. And there was something so hot about that. I don't know why.
Huh? It's very like, I
It was
love
so
you. I
subtle
know.
and
You know?
chill. Yes, that's what it was. And I was like, okay, I'm on a different ride in this movie. Anyway, heroes. You didn't ask about that at all. You didn't ask about heroes.
Oh, and I take personal offense by you talking about someone being hot in a movie because I would never.
You would never after slut category. My slut is
And all the talk I talked
Sam
about
Neill.
hunting season too. So
Hunting season, yeah. Sorry, tangent. The heroes are all the friends we made along the way. The heroes
all the
are also
dinos.
the dinosaurs are also heroes in my eyes because they showed everyone that you cannot mess with Mother Nature. If anything, the villain, and I hate to do this to babyface Speedy Wong, but he was very. He was the scientist. I mean, he did, but he was very like, we bred them to be girls. Why would anything happen? Stupid. And I did see it again. I didn't keep up with the sequels. Kind of want to now because I did see that his character comes back a lot in the newer ones. So like, does he pay for his crimes? Like, does he like? He does. Oh my god!
But it's more evil too.
That
Okay,
makes me so happy. I
now.
see it. I see them planting the seeds. He was so like, no, this is good. Bringing back dinosaurs is good. And I just feel like he is the scientist that maybe like, and this is me making my own story up, planted the seeds of like, hey, billionaire, what if we do a Jurassic Park? But and I feel like Hammond, he is a little bit of the villain. As charismatic as he is of a I assume billionaire, he is still a billionaire, and he did
Yeah.
create this park in a very dumb way. And even in the parts where he was like, "Oh, I want everyone to visit the park." Evil lawyer is like, no, we could
Mhm.
charge $10,000 a day. And then he's
Yeah.
like, maybe we could have a coupon day. And
Mhm.
Dr. Hammond doesn't even push back that hard, you guys. Like, I feel like
No.
he's one of those, there's a lot of billionaires who like act like an everyman, but then they're like, oh, but my lawyer says no. And they kind of put it off on the scapegoat of a person like, oh, my hands are tied. And I
Yes.
feel like that's a little bit of what Dr. Hammond's doing. Like, well,
Absolutely.
the lawyer said, so I guess not everyone can come. I don't
He's like
know.
one of those rich peoples that think it's gauche to talk about money, because he doesn't have to,
Yes.
because he's rich.
Yes.
I'm thinking of Mr. Burns specifically from The Simpsons. So
Absolutely.
everybody mark your bingo card.
Exactly. And I had a question for you guys that I didn't know where to shove in here. Would you guys go to Jurassic Park? Like,
Fuck yes, I would.
okay, me too.
I gotta see these dinos.
I think I'd have like season passes, not gonna lie.
But I would
Yeah.
go early in the Jurassic World days because shit hasn't completely broken down yet, and I think it
Yeah.
runs for quite a while because they are like, we got to have more teeth. We got to get more people. Like people are starting to get, so yes. Yeah. You got to find the right
Yeah.
window.
That's the thing. I was going to say, I would absolutely love to go. Clip that coupon, sign me up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Coupon
I
day.
don't think, I don't want to be there opening day. I would
Yes.
want them to work
No,
out
We're not
I
gonna
some
would
of
be
definitely
the
like feel it
kinks.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there were
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't do the ball excursion thing they have in the newer one where they're in the glass ball. Like that's
No.
not for, I feel like that's asking for trouble. I feel like you could
Yeah.
be discerning. If you're going like when you go to like a wild animal park, I don't know if you guys have ever been to one of those where like the
Mhm.
animals are roaming. You just got to be smart about it. And I
Yeah.
feel like I feel like I'm built different. I think I could survive Jurassic Park and enjoy myself.
Well, you survived Deep Blue Sea, so I think you
Yeah,
could
I
survive
did.
this too.
Oh yeah, Rachel, I was the only one who decided I would survive Deep Blue Sea if this
Bobby's
happened.
All
like,
right.
yeah, I got this. I'm fine. I'm punching my sharks,
I
Yeah.
would.
I
I don't
just
know.
would not bring my son, who's also the Antichrist, when I am driving through
I was going to say, it makes
baboon
me
thing,
think of the Omen.
because he's gonna grow up to be Sam Neill. So, man, Sam Neill is a really hot Antichrist too. Like
It's true.
he's so hot. And I love how they really try to make the raptors the villains here. And they're like, they're scary. They'll eat you while you're still alive. As if that's not what all of the animals do. But they're like, they're evil because they're smart. They're
They
Yes.
like,
are.
the evil geniuses.
Which
And
isn't that what they always say women are? They're evil. If they're
Mhm.
smart, they're
We're
evil. They want to
conniving,
keep us dumb.
you
They
know?
want to keep those lady raptors dumb.
They do. Man, I was just reading yesteryear and she didn't even teach her kids to read because she's like,
Whoa, that's a whole new
you don't
thing.
need
That's like a thing
yeah.
I've been seeing with those trad wives.
Oh, no.
Man, there's a scene
whole
where
other
she's
conversation,
like, "What's
but-
an ocean?" And this is like an 8-year-old girl. Anyways, yeah, yesteryear
Ooh.
trad wives, whole other thing. But I always kind of saw Dr. Grant as the hero of this, and I remember at the time thinking, "Why are you casting this guy?" And I think he's great in it, but I was expecting Arnold Schwarzenegger or Brad Pitt or somebody like an A-list at the time who had in pop culture, and now I know Sam Neill's filmography. I've seen Possession. I've seen The Omen 3, which he is fantastic in, even though that movie is, Rachel, you've been talking about it on
Oh,
Halloweenies.
yes. Yes. No, he's great.
He's fantastic, but I just remember thinking this feels like an interesting choice, and watching this, it is such a family movie. This is a little nuclear family, and now that a woman, I really love the hot dad energy. But at
Yeah.
the time, it did not occur to me to think he was attractive at all. And so it was like,
Yeah.
well, this movie is cool because of the dinosaurs, not because I have a crush on anyone. Even though, Ian Malcolm is right there with his shirt unbuttoned. But so I think he plays this really great balance of something for the older moms and then something for the kids too, and it's just that's what you need for this kind of movie. And I think that's part of the reason this movie has persevered is because he's such a great lead in that role. And then later I saw him in Event Horizon too, and I was like, Dr.
yeah.
Grant, what
Dr.
are you
Grant.
doing?
I know. I
So-
remember seeing Event Horizon for the first time when I was an adult, and I was like, oh my goodness. Like,
I know.
what are you doing? Because he was so wholesome. Like, I had seen him in, like, Merlin and stuff, you know? It's like,
Mhm.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Whoever did I don't know who did the casting for Jurassic Park, but dang. Good job.
Yeah. Great job
Mhm.
just on all counts too, because everybody in this movie is exactly who they're
Good
supposed
job,
to be.
everybody. I don't know if
Like,
anyone's ever told you that, but you did a good
I know.
job.
You did a good job. Like, even BD Wong, I love him as the
Yeah,
evil
that's I feel
doctor.
bad. I know talked about how evil he was, but I loved his character, and I loved how he played it too, because he had
Yeah.
the arrogance of like, yeah, we did. What are you even talking about? No, nothing's gonna go wrong.
And it's
Stupid.
like
What are
he
you talking
can't
about?
even remember the name of the dinosaur too. Like, he is the embodiment of that "it didn't take any discipline to attain it" line,
Uh-huh.
you know? And then I would watch him on SVU for years because I think he's the psychiatrist, the mental guy. Um,
Yes.
Words are failing. But he's always so good on that show. And I think he is kind of condescending if you're looking for it, but I think he also just reads as like, yeah, this is just what we did, you know?
Huh?
Stupid.
Stupid.
But in this time, I noticed for the first time, because I was paying attention, Dr. Grant, when the dinosaur's about to sneeze on Lexi, and she's like, "The Vegisaurus is Lex," you know, and he's like, "The other kind," meaning the carnivores, they just do what they do. You know, that's just
Uh-huh.
who they are. But in every movie, there's one dinosaur that's the villain, you know? And now they're becoming the more genetically modified dinosaurs, you know? Like
Ooh.
in Jurassic World, it's this hybrid of a whole bunch of different ones. And it's really cool. The Indominus Rex, like they created it. Because and it's got like different traits from other like it can do chameleon shit and it's also kind of a raptor. So
Is
it's
there I heard
cool.
there's stuff about they started crossbreeding with humans. There's doing human stuff in the newer
Yeah.
films?
5
Okay.
is garbage.
Whoa.
It it's
Is
like
5 the
if you
recent one with ScarJo and
No,
Jonathan
that is
Bailey?
7. So
Oh,
Oh.
boy.
5
Oh, God. It's
5
7?
yes, they have started to clone humans now.
My God, we have some work to do, Shelby.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do.
It's
We'll
look,
report back.
it's kind of worth watching because 5, they tried to make it a haunted house movie too, which is kind of fun to see how spectacularly bad it is, you know? And then
You're just
6
saying things, and now I actually do wanna watch all of these. That might be, a bonus
okay,
Summer of
episode. Rachel
Dinos.
and
here's
Shelby
my
watch all of Jurassic Park.
Here's my synopsis of all of the movies. Okay, Jurassic Park, perfect movie. Jurassic Park 2, Jeff Goldblum's daughter does gymnastics and saves the day. Jurassic Park 3, Sam Neill returns with a hot young protege and can speak to the raptors through some kind of bone thing. Jurassic World, I was kidding when I said I like it for Chris Pratt. I just like it because there's a megalodon and it's
Yeah, I
cool.
did see
And
that one.
yeah,
Yes.
and it's cool for the park to be open. Sorry, it's cool. And then Jurassic Park 5, let's make it a haunted house and cloning shit. And then
Mhm.
6 is when they get everybody to come back together. You would think it's cool, but there's a whole bunch of giant locusts. It's not cool. And
Locusts
then
in my
locusts.
dinosaur movies?
Yes. But what is cool about 6 is the dinos are here now. So there's like the horses and then there's a dinosaur running next to the horse.
Like in
Okay.
America? Like
Yes.
here?
Like everywhere. Yeah. Oh, and 2, the T-Rex goes through a neighborhood. That's cool too. And then 7 is, well, it's got Fiero in it,
Yeah.
Jonathan Bailey. And so he's
Uh-huh.
hot. 6 is, or 7, the newest one, Rebirth, it's not bad. It's got some cool dinosaur shit. They all have cool dinosaur shit. Most of them are stupid. So,
So the dinosaurs are like wild animals? Sorry, I got caught up on
kinda.
that.
Yeah, there's like a picture in the trailer, I think, of like the Mustangs, and then there's like a Dilophosaurus or a Diplodocus
Is it a
riding,
problem
or
for us?
Diplodocus.
Like,
Yes, it becomes a problem.
okay.
Yes, because they still can eat people. Oh, and Blue, a raptor, becomes a friend and
Oh,
the
of course.
hero because Chris Pratt learns to love dinosaurs and humans. And, you know, Chris Pratt is not in 7, I don't think. So, anyways.
Okay.
I've invested so much of my life. This is what happens when you have kids. Just, you know, you know
No,
all
I'm glad.
about the
I
Jurassic Park world.
honestly had no idea. So no, this is great. I'm glad
I know
to.
that was helpful.
That was very helpful. It's so
So
funny. We
choose
were
your
like,
own
let's get rid.
adventure.
Should we get rid of the synopses? And here I'm like, Jen,
I know.
synopses all of these movies,
Tell me
please.
the
Entire franchise, yeah.
The entire
I know.
franchise.
So I've only seen the
Okay.
first. I've only seen the first two, so now I've got work to do.
I mean, look, I would say watch Jurassic World, and then if you like Jonathan Bailey. Oh, and Mahershala Ali, too, because he's hot in
Okay.
7 also.
Okay.
There's some, like, on the open sea stuff on 7. It's kind of cool.
I love the
but-
sea. Yeah. Okay.
Well, oh, shit. I got so excited to say, well, I do love the sea. Yeah, that I ripped my headphones.
We're all getting
All right.
Okay.
We're off the rails.
Sorry.
Okay, well, let's
Yeah.
get in our Jeeps without locking mechanisms because we cannot be contained. And we are going, get in, loser. We're going killing.
This woman will soon cut, chop, break, and burn 5 men beyond recognition. And there isn't a jury in this country that will convict her.
All right. Hold on to your butts. Let's talk about the clever girls. Okay, so Dr. Hammond says, and this, like, Dr. Hammond really grossed me out on this watch because I was looking for it, you know? He says, I insist on being here when they're born. They imprint on the first creature they come in contact with. It helps them to trust me. And I was like, well, that's great for all the scientists who did all the hard work here. You know, that Mr. Moneybags swoops in and sticks his face
And
in
I
front
felt
of
like
the
he was
egg.
lying. Like I felt like that's not true. Like
Mhm.
because
There's a lot
when
of dinosaurs.
yeah, when
Yeah.
BD Wong was like, "Oh, they're about to hatch," and he was like, "Oh, why didn't you tell me? I insist on being here." And I felt like BD Wong didn't make a face or, but I was like, I bet that's like a lie. Like that feels like
Yeah.
not real.
It's like deadbeat dad energy. You know?
Yes, exactly.
Like, oh, yeah, I'll be there at your tennis game, you know?
Mhm.
Sure. Sorry, I'm watching Your Friends and Neighbors, so it's on my mind. And then Dr. B.D. Wong, because I can't remember his name in the movie, he says, there is no unauthorized breeding in Jurassic Park. All the animals in Jurassic Park are female. We've engineered them that way. And then, to her credit, Dr. Sadler's like, you've engineered them? Deny them the chromosome? Like, they do make a point that this sucks. Rachel, why are all the dinosaurs female? And what do you think would happen if they were dude dinosaurs?
But yeah, there's some science talk. And like, I mean, full disclosure, I know this is a surprise. I am not a woman in STEM. So
Rachel.
I can't speak to the scientific accuracy.
I know we all
but
come
they're-
off very scientific on this show, so it's a misnomer.
Although, side note, I grew up, one of my like friends in like elementary school, she was obsessed with this movie and wanted to become a paleontologist and became a paleontologist. So
That's so
you know
cool.
what? Representation matters. She
That's
wanted to
true.
be Ellie Sattler and she became Ellie Sattler. So I think that's fucking rad.
That's awesome.
However, okay, I should have called her. Why are all the explain this to me? Explain this to me as if I was not a paleontologist. I feel like the logic was sound there. You know, they're all born that way and it doesn't happen until later that they get that extra chromosome and that's when they, you know, transition into becoming male or whatever. And cool, that's fine and all. I also think that they thought that they're females, so they're going to be perhaps a little bit more docile, perhaps a little less aggressive, and perhaps just a little bit easier to deal with and manage, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think that's kind of a bit of a misnomer. You even mentioned, or somewhere, like the idea of like a lioness, and it's like you look at like lions and it's like they're out there hunting, like they're actually a little bit more aggressive. And so it's funny because even like I've had multiple female dogs over the years and my family has had female dogs, and it's really funny. One time my vet said something because I was like surprised when I got Rambo because I'd never had a male dog, and I was like, it's funny, he's actually, I mean, I know he whines, he talks a lot, but he is like the sweetest, easiest going, gets along with everybody, like just the best dog. And I'm like, it's funny, like I thought like a male dog would perhaps be a little bit more difficult in those ways. And she's like, well, they don't call them bitches for nothing.
Oh,
And
I love that.
yeah, and she was like, I will always prefer male dogs. She's like, that's kind of like a misconception. And like, it's just really funny. And so I think there's something to that too. Like, I don't know, would a bunch of male dinosaurs also be like a little bit easier to get along with? Or like
Mhm.
one would kind of rise to the top as being the alpha male? I'm not really sure. But I think that's just kind of an example of these scientists not, I don't know, thinking they know best, thinking that these are just stupid lizards or whatever. And like, clearly we're sophisticated humans who know what we're doing, even though they're dinosaurs. These aren't cows. These aren't any sort of species that we have a lot of experience interacting with.
Mhm.
But it's that idea that they know better, they're smarter. So like, why would we not be able to figure this out and manage these creatures? And clearly it does not work out as they anticipated.
It doesn't. Life finds a way, but women find a way. We get shit done.
We
Girls
will.
get it done,
Girls
to
get it
Yeah.
done.
again talk about the boys. I don't know why that keeps
Yep.
coming up. But yeah, they're also viewing this through the lens of the patriarchy too. And they are
Mhm.
just assuming. So I just wrote this thing about Prometheus. I've talked about it a couple of times about the C-section scene. And
Mhm.
it strikes me now that I've like taken a critical look at that movie that the machine is calibrated for a male body. Now, we learn why later. I'm sure we'll cover this movie at some point, but we learn the reason why. But also, like, medicine is calibrated for men. There's the 70-kilogram man that is the standard. And it's interesting to hear Dr. B.D. Wong talk about, like, well, all animals are female at first. All embryos start their life female and then they get this add on. So it's not men are the standard or the male body is the standard, even in animals. It's women are the standard, but we don't treat women that way. We treat women as subsets. We treat them as optional add-ons. Like, there's medicine and then there's women's medicine and then there's children's medicine. We don't talk about like male medicine unless you're talking about like prostate or whatever.
Mhm.
Um because the patriarchy views men as the standard, but nature views women as the standard. And I think they have applied this patriarchal lens to this park because of capitalism, because of like their lens. They're like, well, of course, we're in charge. And that's why we need this male paleontologist's opinion. We don't care about the woman. Although I do love that both of the men agree with her and they're like, yeah, this isn't a good idea.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Shelby, what do you think? Do you think these dinosaurs, if they were all male, do you think they would find a way to breed? And do you think they would run amok? Or would they be like the male lions where they're just like getting their face fur and then chilling out? Sorry,
I was gonna
mane
say
is the
they would have all
technical.
been more colorful because in nature, a lot of time males are more colorful. And we know
True.
now, we didn't know at the time, but now we're pretty sure dinosaurs, a lot of them had feathers. So
Mm-hmm.
it would have been a more tropical park. It would have been much more fabulous if they had done all males. But I don't think, yeah, I think that everything both of you have said, I don't even want to just like go over it all again, but I think that's what it was. It was just the standard of like, because honestly, with cats, same thing. Like you said, Rachel, with dogs, you see a lot of videos of people seeking out male cats because they're much more affectionate than female cats. My bitch back here, she is not super affectionate. She is when she wants to be, but I
Mm-hmm.
kind of like that. We both have our own, like
Yeah.
we have, like I love it. I love our relationship, but I can see, but it's like a whole thing of like, oh, get a male cat if you want like a Velcro cat. If you want one that's like always wanting to cuddle, that's what you should get as a male cat. And so it is interesting that we've started figuring that out now, but
Mm-hmm.
even at the time of this, like it was still the standard of like, well, women are more nurturing, women babies, so
Mm-hmm.
thus no fight. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's so funny that they had already established that this velociraptor bitch came in and killed everybody and was like, it is me. I am the
Mm-hmm.
number one. And they were still like, I don't know, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Let's keep reading more. It's fine. Everything's fine. It is crazy though that they used in it, like they had this paleontologist who is not like a frog scientist, and he comes in and he's like, frogs will just change sexes in different climates and different conditions, and he knows that, but the dinosaur scientists didn't think about that, or they did and didn't care. They just
Yeah.
wanted to make dinosaurs, and they were trying to appease their billionaire boss, and they're like, "For sure, they're just gonna be girls. It's gonna be totally fine. Like, don't even worry about it." And they get to do all their scientist stuff fully funded on a tropical island. I mean, I'd lie to my boss too. So
I would too.
but
Yeah,
then,
there's
like,
like a
watching it this time,
20% chance that
yeah,
the dinosaurs will
watching it
eat
this time
you,
around, I
but
really thought, like, were they just lying to him? Because how did they not know the frog thing? And Sam Neill did. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Maybe
know.
they
I
just
It's
think,
didn't
eerie.
bring a frog scientist in,
or it
They're
was just
like,
something that worked. So, who
yeah.
knows, like if I can't remember from the book, like if they had tried other reptile species
That's
or
the thing. I
amphibians
would
and
like
like
to read.
maybe
I've
something
always
didn't
wanted to
like,
read the book. I love his
I
right.
don't,
I've read others of his books, and for some reason I've never read this one. And I know there's much more of the like science in there. So
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
I
It,
can't remember.
it also like it does seem like if you're thinking about it too, like why would you start off with a species that just or the gender that like has the ability
to give
inherently to
birth.
reproduce.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like in theory, like
or
not that
lay
it
eggs, I
wouldn't
guess.
still
But
like, not that life still wouldn't find a way, but if it
yeah,
was male, they would be missing some key elements that they would
yeah,
have to somehow develop in order to give birth. Whereas all of these females have that already,
Mhm. Mhm.
in theory, as far as we know, like they have the ability to reproduce. They're just missing the components needed to get pregnant in the first place. But
Yeah.
so it's very interesting. I'm not sure, like, again, I know not a woman in STEM. I'm not sure what would take more work in order to, is it more work for the male species to grow those organs in order to house and birth and reproduce? Or is it apparently easier for some element of these female dinosaurs to gain the ability to get pregnant, I'm not sure. How do dinosaur pregnancies work?
It feels like
when one
it would.
dinosaur loves another dinosaur.
Yes. They go behind the bushes, and
Yeah,
Steven Spielberg edits out the
All the leaves.
yeah.
Exactly. It is like I'm thinking about The Lion King now because we're talking about the,
Yeah.
lions and, when Nala gives him that, like, "Come get me" look,
Yes.
I'm
Or
sorry,
is it
"Come
kind
fuck
of
me" look.
like, is it happening all internal, like into one dinosaur?
Mm,
Because aren't there like certain other species too where they're like hermaphroditic and they can like
Yeah, that's what I
well,
was
and
get
that's
thinking.
pregnant and give
mitosis
birth
too. Is it
like
something
all
like
within
that?
themselves? So I'm not sure if that's what's happening or if like another dinosaur is gaining some male dinosaur parts and
Little
stuff.
dino jizz?
Yeah, some dino swimmers. I'm not really sure. If somebody
And
knows,
we're not
sound
talking
off in the
about the
comments.
megalodon. Or are we?
I don't know. Sound off in the comments. Let
Yeah,
us know.
seriously. How do
Um,
dinosaurs have sex?
Do
yeah.
dinosaurs have sex? Thank you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it does seem like it would be a much harder lift to grow the mechanism to produce another body than to grow the mechanism to inseminate, because you just got to get that swimmer out into the egg. And it would be just as easy for them to deny the chromosome as to give everybody the chromosome,
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. But I
Mhm.
think they just think we can control women, because we do because everything in our society is built on the idea that we control women. So, okay. Well, I do want to talk about the gender norms and the gender roles in this movie because I think it is really interesting. But before we do that, let's pay some bills. So I have cleverly hold on to your butts, everybody. I've cleverly titled this section "Baby Smell" because I really love that little dialogue, where he's like, No, baby smell," and he's not wrong. I've had two
He's
babies,
not
and they
wrong.
they can
Yeah.
smell sometimes. Baby smell, 13-year-old smell. Also, we've had to have conversations about how deodorant is not just for you; it is for everyone
I
around
was
you.
just
It's
talking to a
important.
friend who has a 13-year-old who was having the same conversation.
Like,
Yeah.
that's become my check now is like, are we ready to go? We're getting in the car. Everybody got shoes on. Did you put deodorant on? Because, whew. Anyways, so Dr. Grant learns to love. It's now I kind of look at it like in another movie, it would have been super ham fisted about how like the kids like him, but he doesn't like kids. And like Ellie's always giving him that look like, oh, yeah, want to get
Hmm.
me pregnant. But I it works here. Like, I like it. It's just Steven Spielberg makes it work, you know? Um, and then we also have Lexi, who's a hacker. So, like, Lexi and Ellie, in a lot of ways, save the day here. Like, Grant saves
Totally.
the kids. He's the one who takes that role. And then Malcolm becomes a damsel in distress. Like, he's not just a slut. He's just once he's out and look, no shade, because if I got bit by a T-Rex, allegedly bit by a T-Rex, I would be out of the hero shit too, you know? Also, we see when he tries to save the day, he gets bit by a T-Rex, you know? But then Ellie says, "We can discuss sexism and survival situations when I get back." And this is when Dr. Hammond, this old guy, is like, "I should go do this sky thing or this like pipe thing because I'm a man." And he doesn't even say that. He's like, "Because I'm a and you're a And I love that she calls him out on that and then gets the fucking power back on and doesn't die from the velociraptors that killed Samuel L. Jackson and Muldoon, you know? Okay, so Shelby, how does Jurassic Park and its characters play with gender norms?
I mean, you put it really well. Like, we got Ellie and Lexi, and they're so. By the way, I loved when Lexi walks up to Dr. Grant and he's like, "She said to ride with you because it would be good for you."
The other moment I love is when Tim is holding his hand and won't let go, and he's
Yeah,
trying to like get it
yeah,
off.
I
It's
love
so
it.
funny.
But yeah, I love that line of her talking about discussing sexism in survival situations. I'm sure that was like a really good thing for me to hear as a little girl, you know, like
Yeah.
this, like little things that now seeing as an adult that were injected in this movie that was like, this is such a girl power movie. The dinosaurs are girls. The two, they're like, not only a woman saves the day in a lot of ways, but like like a girl does. Like, it's just like, even when they're saved for a half a second and they're eating, which I love that scene even since I was a kid when they're just like devouring all that food because they're so
Mhm.
hungry and she's holding the lime jello and
Mhm.
she gets into action. Lexi goes into action and saves her little brother and like goes
Mhm.
into it, which is the one of the funniest kind of little parts of the movie to me is when they're like, well, unless they learn how to open doors, cut to the velociraptor opening
Mhm.
the door. Um, just hilarious. The Steven Spielberg also has such a good sense of humor throughout this movie, which I think
Really
also
does.
moves it along in such a beautiful way.
In the
Mhm.
kitchen, I love how she's just running, screaming with her hands outstretched. It's so funny, and,
It's
that's
so
exactly what I
funny.
would do too.
Yeah. What else? I feel like everyone reacts so realistically in this movie. I mean, as realistically as they could imagine if you were faced with dinosaur problems. And yeah, like you said, like Jeff Goldblum is a damsel in distress. He's immediately just like, ugh, shirt, like cleavage. My leg hurts and I have cleavage for some reason. Like that's
He
classic what
faints
they would
in
have
the
done
straw.
50 years ago to a woman. Like my leg
Yeah.
hurts, so somehow my breasts are out, you
He's
know?
on the fainting couch.
He's on the fainting couch. Yes. And she's like working on his leg. And Dr. Hammond is kind of hysterical, as ladies usually are. And I
Mhm.
don't know, just Dr. Grant is the motherly figure. He's having to herd the children. He has to take care of the children. He has to make sure they're safe. He has to make sure they're not dying and they're fed and they're this and that. And like, I feel like a lot of these roles get flipped. And so many men die in this movie. Like
Mhm.
Muldoon, he is our like hero guy. He's our like he's got, even got the hat, the Australian hat. He's got the gun. He's got
Yeah.
everything. He's supposed to be in any other movie. He's supposed to be the main character. He's supposed to be the hero, and he gets eaten.
Yeah.
So
I clever
it's
girl.
clever girl.
Yeah.
But
Even when
he respects women.
he
Yes, he does.
respects women.
And that's
You
why he
know.
lasts so long too.
It is
Yes.
true. Well,
Yeah.
when he tells Ellie to run away and he like basically is like, we are being hunted. You're going to go and you need to go now. And
Mhm.
what does he say? God willing, you make it. Something he says something to that effect. It's very
Mhm.
theatrical. I loved it. And I do love, again, another funny moment. She turns and immediately runs into a tree branch. And it's like, ah, it's like part
Yeah.
Looney Tunes at near the end there. I love it. But yeah, I feel like that's what they do. I feel like everyone gets swapped from if you were to have cast this movie, you know, years and years ago, it would have been so different. She would have been tasked with the children. And like all the men would have saved the day. Muldoon, I don't know if he would have necessarily survived, but he definitely would have, been like he would have been more important than Dr. Grant in the movie, you know? And I just really love what they did here with gender norms that I never really had paid attention to, at least like to in the forefront of my brain until this watch through.
Yeah, same. I hadn't really thought about it either. I am going to say something that will maybe make some people mad, though. This movie does not pass the Bechdel test because our only two named female characters are Lexi and Ellie, and
Yeah.
I do not think we ever see them talk to each other. Now, I'm not going to knock it because I agree with you. I think the way we do flip a lot of gender norms.
You know,
Also, the
not true.
dinosaurs. Oh, is
The-
it?
Those
Do they-
raptors are talking to each other.
That's true. Thank you, Rachel. You've saved us. They do.
They do talk to each other. Yeah.
Mhm.
And they are technically named because their government name is Velociraptor.
The
you
big
know?
ones too. What
And
are
then
they?
the big one.
Brontosauruses? When they're like,
Yes,
"Ooh,"
you're right.
they're calling them from the
Singing.
trees.
Okay, I stand corrected
what?
and relieved. So, yeah, but I think also, I don't think a woman dies in this movie. You know, like
Not that we see, unless there's some poor workers.
Who didn't make it to the docks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we
mean,
don't see any. No.
No, we don't. Yeah, but part of that is because the leadership at Jurassic Park is all male, you know,
Mhm.
but that's why it falls, you know, so. All right. Well, it is good that none of our women die. Oh, some lady dinosaurs do die, but it's off screen. And you know what they say about dinosaurs that die off screen? Are they really dead? You know? Also, we can bring them back to life because we got dino science,
Yeah,
which is
dino
good. You know what else is good is our next category. Good for her.
Claiming she could take it no more, the young mother released the emergency brake, allowing her car to roll backwards into the nearby lake.
Good for her.
Okay. Yes, we know murder is bad. Yes, it's bad that dinosaurs are eating men. That's officially bad. But I also kind of like the idea that like this guy is a lawyer and he deserved it. And I think like just growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, the 80s and the 90s, when we were just making lawyer jokes all the time, I think
All the time.
Yeah, I was thinking that recently. I was like, there aren't as many lawyer jokes. That used to be like a huge thing.
that
It's
was
like
a
lawyer.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like blood sucking lawyer has been in my
Yeah.
head. I'm kidding. Or I'm not kidding. And I think, you know, maybe
Also-
we've learned from that.
Is he actually? He might actually not be a bad guy because he's
think
like
he's
trying
fine.
to
He's like-
be like Malcolm or not Malcolm, like Hammond. Like our investors are concerned. Like one
He's
of
very
your workers
yeah, he's concerned
died.
about insurance. He's like kind of an asshole, but he's also fun. Okay, another funny moment of this movie when the kid is playing with the goggle things, and he's like, "Is it
Yes.
heavy? That means it's expensive. Put it back."
Yeah.
I don't know why that's always
but then
been
he
so
doesn't put it
funny.
back too.
Yeah,
Yeah. I've thought about that for many, many years too. It is a pretty good rule of thumb when you have kids too, you know.
yeah. Is it
If
heavy?
it's heavy,
That's
put it down,
expensive.
you know, yeah. Okay, so Malcolm, these are quotes I'm sure we've probably heard a billion times, but they're so good. The script of this movie, a lot of it taken from the novel, so we got to give Crichton some credit. Who apparently, Michael Crichton is very tall, apparently.
Yeah, he's like 6'11" or some shit. Yeah, or
Yeah,
was
like-
R.I.P. But
yes,
yeah.
R.I.P. Yeah, yeah. And Losers Club has a whole Crichton Cast spinoff too, so check that out. They have spilled many, many hours of conversation about Michael Crichton. Okay, so Malcolm says, life will not be contained. Life breaks free. Life finds a way. I'm skipping some of the in the mid.
Finds a way.
Life finds a way.
The is
I
so
was like,
important to
am I
me.
gonna try to do a Jeff Goldblum impression? You know, am I gonna?
I say and so much that whenever the fact that one of our most famous quotes from film history has an in it makes me feel seen.
Life finds a way.
Finds a way.
And it's so funny. Like this was my first Jeff Goldblum movie too, and to just hear him and now to see it in all of these other things, it's so funny. I think about this with The Godfather a lot. Slight tangent, but like that was the first thing I ever saw Al Pacino in. And I was like, well, this is Al Pacino's this really quiet, really reserved actor. And then because that's what he's doing in this
Scarface,
movie.
and you're like,
And then
Who is this?
exactly, I saw. Well, it was the Devil's Advocate that was like,
Oh.
oh, this guy is okay. I get it. I see who Al Pacino is. But I just now it's like that's just who Jeff Goldblum is.
Yeah.
Like he is just that kind of person. And that's how he talks. And I love that that's who Ian Malcolm is. But he says it didn't require any discipline to attain it. Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether they could, they didn't stop to think if they should. And I'm going to not bang on my table and like make the fork sound as he's doing it. Like they packaged it and they blah, 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 blah. Side note, here's how you know Hammond doesn't really give a fuck about coupon day because he's already got the gift shop set up, that shit would still be in boxes, but I was like,
Yeah.
it is already. And I mean, I think it's like narratively to show that we are packaging it. We're making it merch. Also, it's
And the
nice
only
little
restaurant
commercial.
is like a gourmet restaurant. I
Yeah.
didn't see any hot dog stands or like chicken
Dippin'
tenders.
Dots.
Yeah. Where's the
Yeah.
Dippin' Dots? We do see it, I know, in Jurassic World, but like at this point in the game, you're building this for rich people, Dr. Hammond. Stop lying.
Absolutely. Yes. This is
Yeah.
your Disney World. Not that Disney World is for rich people, but it's fucking
Well,
expensive.
these days, I
So,
think it is. So.
yeah. And then Grant says you can't just suppress 65 million years of gut instinct. And that is exactly what they're trying to do, And he's saying that in regard to the T-Rex who doesn't want to be fed. He wants to hunt. I'm sorry. She doesn't want to be fed. She wants to hunt. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Like women or female creatures, we get the shit done. We do what we need to do to keep going to survive, and you can't control us. So this is the thing we've been asking in all of our animal attack films. Rachel, what do the dinosaurs represent here? And is this a feminist movie?
I really do think the dinosaurs just represent this, like, the hubris of man. I looked at this through the lens of a Dr. Frankenstein sort of situation. Just this idea that you can, yeah, it's so stupid, but it's like it's right there. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
And I find it to be really fascinating, even with Frankenstein, these male characters. There is something about the idea and this quest to like create. And, people who identify as male and are born male, like they can't necessarily like procreate physically in that way. And so I think that there is just an innate difference in how it's viewed. Whereas, people who have children and have that ability to have children, everybody's a parent. I don't want to like diminish the dad or like the male experience and like take anything away from them. But I've never had kids, but I cannot imagine what it feels like to have something growing inside of you for 9 months, every day, every moment, and having that connection in that way. I think it just probably, I'm assuming, gives you a different sort of connection and appreciation for what it took to bring this life into the world. And I really see this as kind of just an extension of that idea of like, I want to experience that in some way as well.
Mhm.
Like, I can't do it this way, but I want to create something. I want to bring this, I want to deliver this gift of dinosaurs to the world. And like, it's a cool idea. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't blame Hammond for being like, I have all the money in the world. Like, what would I want to create? What do I want my legacy to be? What could I do? He's manifesting. What do they say? Like, what would you imagine your
If
life
I
to
was
be?
guaranteed for it to happen.
Yeah. And he's like, you know what? Fucking dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
I mean, we see this now. Like, listen, my uncle is a rocket scientist and works at Blue Origin. And it's like, that's another thing. Like, what do I want to do? I want to go to outer space. And here these people are,
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing. It's like, what could you imagine and do? And that's what it is. However, we also, just like with Frankenstein, it's like you cannot control all of the outcomes. The same thing when you have a child, you cannot control all of those outcomes. Creating something is a lot different than like there's steps after that. It's not like, oh, here, I made this thing. I did all this stuff. Now it's done. And now it's perfect. It's like, well, you have some responsibility there. And I think this is just a very entertaining, incredible way to explore that idea. And I love the fact that they're all female, because it also, don't underestimate the dinos, don't underestimate women. You think about like the Rosie the Riveter stuff, and when like, okay, well, all the guys are off fighting the war, who's going to run all the factories? What are we going to do? Oh, what, women are capable of doing this? We can do it? What?
Oh,
We
yeah.
can do it. They can do it. These bitches can
They can do it.
somehow
Yes.
procreate, and they find a way to do it because that's what women have been doing. I mean, literally, as we see here in this movie, since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Like, they can do it. You just have to, like, reframe what you expect out of them. And I love that we get that a little bit with Ellie and Lexi. It's like,
Mhm.
yeah, they all have something to contribute in their own ways, and they're all perfectly capable of contributing. So, yes, I do think it is. I never kind of thought about it as a feminist movie, but, you know, I don't know. Then I think of my friend who went and became a paleontologist, and who knows if she ever, you know, would have ever done that.
An
Yeah.
inspirational story. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and my favorite quote from the entire movie that I think I meant to say is dinosaurs eat man, woman inherits the earth. And they just kind of look at her like, you know? But I saw that on signs at the Women's March, like in 2017. And I was like, fuck yeah. And that's when I started to think about this as a feminist movie. And yeah, I think so. Like I have a neighbor who is a great friend, but he has some very backwards views on women.
Mhm.
And he was talking about the plight of men and how hard they have it. And he was like, well, if there was a fire in your house, you and the kid, your husband would save you and the kids, and you would wait outside and he would be the last one out. And I was like, why do you assume that I wouldn't want to also save my children? Also, if my husband dies in that fire, am I supposed to just like be burned up because there was no man to
There was
save
no
me?
man. No, you and the children stand there waiting for your husband to individually carry you out. Yeah.
Exactly. And if I don't have a husband, I'm just supposed to die. And
Yeah.
I do think that there are many people that think we simply are not capable of doing that. And maybe there's an outlier here or there. And if there are, they are going against the natural order because it should be the man that saves the day. It should be this patriarchal world. We should be able to control these lady dinosaurs because they're ladies and we are inherently better, we're inherently stronger, we're inherently smarter. And what I love about this movie is it shows that that's not true, that when you strip all of that away, that's the thing that Ellie is saying is like, you thought you had control. The patriarchy is the illusion of control. It's this system that we've all bought into. And it's a system of power and like levels of power. And so, like, I don't have to buy into it, but I also don't have enough power from my refusal to buy into it to make like huge differences. But if we all band together, we can pull the fences down.
I do. I think what you brought up earlier, Shelby, too, is important because, like, listen, I love Ellie, I love Lexi, I love all the dinosaurs. I also think it's important that moment with Grant and Malcolm that you brought up where he's like, so is she single or whatever?
Yeah.
And the fact that, like, Grant doesn't do some big, like, dude, that's my girl, like,
Yeah.
back the fuck off. Like, he's
Mhm.
not posturing. He doesn't really have to say anything. He's not, like, being possessive of her or aggressive in that way because he knows he doesn't need to. Like
Mhm.
I love the way that Grant is presented in this. Like him and Ellie are clearly equal, and like we talk about this all the time, right?
Yes.
Ben is like, the patriarchy hurts men too, and like feminism is not to like have women be better than men, it's to be equal, just like
Yeah.
everybody to be kind of equal. And I think Grant's a really good example of that, how he's not like him and Ellie do seem to have a really good equal relationship. They
Mhm.
have different specialties, but you never see them like disrespecting each other or second guessing each other or like second guessing each other's knowledge or whatever. And even when he has an opportunity to be kind of like, that's my girlfriend, like shut the fuck up kind of moment,
Yeah.
he doesn't, because
Mhm.
it's like he knows to give him a look and be like, yeah, we're together, like whatever, I'm not worried about her, and I'm not worried about you. Like
Yeah.
like I'm not worried that you're going to win her away from me or whatever. And
Yeah.
so I love that moment.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you say, wealth whispers. It's like true masculinity does not need to present itself.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Secure
what seeing it
masculinity, you
at
know?
this age, I had never clocked that moment so hard. But yeah, him just being like, yeah, and like he hadn't brought it up, and Malcolm had been like clearly hitting on Ellie, like
Yeah.
from the helicopter, and like, but he just kind of like let it ride. And the fact that in their careers they are very equal, like at least they present like Grant's never like I'm the main guy and she's my whatever. Like it's
in my side piece. And I let her onto the dig because she's hot, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, and they just come off as very equal, like very, I don't know, like you said, they have their own specialties.
Mhm.
And we do follow Dr. Grant I think a little more closely just because that's how the movie is. And he's like, I would say if you had to choose a main character, I would choose him as being the main
I think
character.
so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But not in a like because he's the man way. It's more in a like we just, Crichton wanted to write for this guy, write his story. And I don't know. I just really I never saw this. When I saw this on the list, I had never considered this if like looking at this through a feminist lens. And I was like, I don't know who put this on the list, but oh my God. Oh, and like watching it this time, I was like, whoa, like those lines that like Ellie saying, like I always remembered her saying that line about, talking about women in survival situations or sexism in survival situations, but I never like thought about it. And
Mhm.
thought about the whole movie through this whole lens, and it's been so fascinating to see. And I, who knew I could like Jurassic Park even more,
Even
but
Right?
more.
even
Yes.
more. Yeah.
Well, and I want to give Jude Doyle credit too, because I read a book called Dead Blondes and Bad Mothers a while ago, their book. It was written under their dead name, and I'm only going to say it because that's how you can find the book being published now. It's Sadie Doyle. So Sadie Doyle, Jude Doyle, Dead Blondes and Bad Mothers. It's such a good book, and they were writing about Jurassic Park through the lens of feminism also. So that's what made me first really start thinking about it. And now knowing that that writer is a trans writer too, like I think you could probably make a trans allegory here too of like you try to control us with our
Yeah.
DNA and chromosomes, and you cannot control what people become,
Or
Mhm.
define us by that.
Yes,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I absolutely agree.
One thing I do think, and look, I am not saying that Dr. Ian Malcolm is problematic. I am not. He's fine. He's just kind of a slutty himbo who's got
Yeah.
some radical theories, man. But they're not bad radical theories. I feel like we need to qualify that. And I said he would have a podcast now because he likes to talk. Because, like we said, he's a slut and a wordsmith. He wouldn't have a manosphere podcast. I think he would like do a podcast with like Neil Tyson deGrasse something.
Probably.
You know,
Tyson
No.
DeGrassi.
I can't remember what his name is.
Neil deGrasse,
deGrasse
Tyson. Yes, sorry. Degrassi High. That's what I was thinking.
That's what I was like.
Also,
Yeah.
I'm not going to the mat for that guy either because I don't know enough about him to say whether I
Yeah.
would listen to his podcast or not. But one thing I do notice when he's doing that whole like the water rolling off your hand, she says, "Alan, come over here, look at this," which I think partly is like, hey, we're all scientists. It could be fun. But there's another way to read that is like, hey, this guy is clearly hitting on me. Can you get in here, and just
Yeah.
be somebody else? And he doesn't, and it's also fine. Look, again, I'm not canceling Dr. Malcolm, but it's just interesting in that moment. And I think it doesn't really register because we're so used to that kind of dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was fine for him to shoot his shot a little bit. He didn't know.
I think so
They
too.
just came
Yeah.
from, they came from the same dig site. He didn't know they were, getting it on. And they were being very professional.
They
So,
were,
like,
yes.
it would have been hard to read them as a couple when when we first, if I'm Dr. Malcolm, I'm first meeting these two scientists in the helicopter. They were
Mhm.
very professional. They weren't like being any sort of, I wouldn't have been able to read it either. I would have tried to shoot my shot with Laura Dern too. So.
And once he does shoot a shot and it's not reciprocated, aside from unbuttoning his entire shirt, he chills, he like backs off,
Yeah.
like he doesn't, it's not a thing. Now he is also incapacitated, and needs the smelling salts. And I say this with love. I love him so much. It is so funny to see that character. So Shelby, is this good for her horror? And do you think this is a feminist movie?
I do think it's a feminist movie on accident. I wouldn't say Spielberg set out to do that. I mean, I could be wrong. I've never asked
Maybe
him,
life
but-
found a way to make it feminist.
Yeah, but exactly. But I do think I would call it one, even if on accident. And I do think it's a good for her movie. Good for her for the dinosaurs. They got another shot at life, even though, they shouldn't have. Good for the Velociraptor ladies for figuring out how to open a door. That's not easy. They didn't know.
It's
They figured
not.
it out,
Mhm.
Good for all the lady dinosaurs. Good for Dr. Ellie Sattler. Good for Lexi. Like Lexi was very she was like a scared she was very scared when we first meet her. She was, and
Mhm.
she learns a lot, and I feel like she goes through a lot in a good way. By the way, sorry, this won't be long. Do the kids ever come back in the 7 other
I
movies?
don't think so.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so, and neither one of them really did much after this either.
Huh.
Now, I could be
Interesting.
wrong, but if they do, not in a
I did
big
see
way.
her Lexi at a convention. I don't remember
I
even
think it's
which one, but
Ariana Richardson, I think is
I
her
did
name.
see
I
her
know
at a
it's
convention
Ariana
at one
something.
point, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's crazy." I didn't, like, go get a picture with her, but I saw her at one. But
Ariana
that
Richards. Now, to be fair, like, I would never come back to this island again. If a
if my
T-Rex almost
grandpa's a
ate me.
billionaire, I can go do some other stuff. That's true. But
Yes, yeah,
that
maybe
is
they're swimming
interesting
with
just
sharks or something.
for the
Yeah.
It
franchise.
says she's in Lost World too.
Oh, she may be in Lost World too. Okay. That's one that I have not seen in a while, so
Okay.
but they don't
But
come
that's
back
it,
for,
yeah.
like, to be the stars of the movie, you know?
Huh. 'Cause I just story-wise, I would think that's who you go with next as they
Yeah.
get older, but
No, we got Chris Pratt.
even with different actors, because as they get older, you could just replace them with different actors, but that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, again, I've been very bad about tangentially pushing us
No, you're
elsewhere
good.
this episode.
We would never
Um,
do tangents.
yes, good
Tangents,
for
what?
her.
We
Good
don't have
for
a
her for
whole Losers Club side episode just called Oops All Tangents. We hate tangents here.
but yes, and yes. 4 thumbs up from all different of
and
the animals' paws.
and your retractable middle finger claw.
I was
I
gonna say
also
your raptor claw in your pocket.
and I love that
Yeah.
it's the raptors giving them the finger too.
Yes.
Rachel,
love
good for
that.
her horror.
Absolutely. I think so. And it's just another example. Like, I don't think, like you said, Spielberg was like necessarily going out to be like, yeah, feminist movie. He's just like, I'm just making good characters
Yes.
and telling a good story.
Mhm.
And you know what? Yes. Like
Yeah.
that isn't that's feminism right there. An example. Like, I'm just developing full characters
Mhm.
and giving them the agency to be full
We ask for
characters.
so
That's great.
little, you know?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, I think so.
I think with Dr. Malcolm and Dr. Grant, I think those two characters for me are what really make it a feminist movie because they really do kind of embody what we would normally see women playing in these movies. And the fact that they're both, one, they're experts. So it's like they are intelligent people. I mean, he's a little bit of a himbo, but like he's very smart too.
He knows math, so
He does know math. He knows chaos. And I'm telling you, like an entire generation of people were like, oh, the chaos theory. Like, this is why we have that Ashton Kutcher movie, The Butterfly Effect. So,
Yeah.
for better or worse.
Listen, you mentioned devil's advocate earlier. I am going to say, because I'm sure other people are probably going to say this as well, like, yes, but is Grant in that role because he's the main character and because they didn't think a woman could play that role and be the lead character?
Okay.
So
now are we talking about like aliens too, or a similar
Yeah.
conversation?
yeah,
you know?
because it's like, did they, like, I don't know. And maybe this is there's a million documentaries and maybe people can let us know. There's a ton of information out there about this movie, but is Grant a male character intentionally or because they thought, well, I guess it's also the book.
that's what I was
which is
thinking,
probably
like Crichton.
the most thing.
But I
writing it,
also
yeah.
think Crichton was probably thinking the same thing because Crichton could have made
Yeah.
this a female character too, and it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah,
So
Crichton, you hear that? Oh,
Yeah.
wherever you are.
Beyond the grave.
but I think it works to its, like it benefits from that choice because
Yeah.
of kind of the pushing back on some of the gender roles. So I don't knock it for that decision. I'm just thinking about it from like, okay, well, if Laura Dern was in his position, we would be following her most of the time.
Yeah.
And then she would be the lead. And would people be as interested?
Yeah.
I'm not saying I agree with
No.
that choice.
I get
Just
you.
a consideration.
It
No,
is.
I think
yeah, that's
that's-
interesting.
That's a good thing to consider because he does do a bunch of action hero shit. Like we've got
Yes.
some cliffhanger elements. I love the part on the rope when the kids he's got Lexi on his back and he's like trying to swing over and grab the rope. He's very brave and adventurous. And I feel like I might be talking about him like this is Mr. Mom,
Yeah.
And what I think it's just so much smarter than that, It's like
it is.
this-
And I think it would have aged poorly. Let's just pretend that Laura Dern was in that character and she's like, no, I don't want kids. And then we see her like,
yeah.
a Newt Ripley kind of situation where it's like, oh, here I am, like hanging out with these
My
kids, and all of a
womb is
sudden
calling.
now,
Yeah.
like, oh, my
Mhm.
ovaries are hurting. Maybe I do
Yeah.
want kids after all. Like, okay,
Mhm.
barf, like that. So I don't think that would have actually benefited and been the better choice, but
Yeah.
just for food for thought.
Well, and it's interesting. I'm going to talk some shit right now, and I'm not going to mention any names, but there is a spiritual reboot of Mr. Mom in theaters right now, starring a certain Nashville comedian. And I've got
Oh.
thoughts for another day on that. But one of the reviews I read, I have not seen this movie, so I can't speak to whether it's good, but it's like all of the characters treat the fact that a man could be a functional parent as if it is revolutionary, you know? And I do think this movie is not doing that. It's not like, well, who knew Grant could be a human being and be nice to these kids? I also don't think it's necessarily I'm a man, I don't like kids. It's this is my personality.
Yeah, I always
I
thought it's
don't
just
like kids.
him. Just I feel
Yes.
like the movie doesn't make sure it's like it is just him who doesn't want them. Mhm.
Because we do have Dr. Malcolm saying, "Oh, I love kids. I've got lots of," like he
Yeah.
is very like now he's a slutty family man, but he's like a family man. And the
Yeah.
next movie stars him and his daughter too. So yeah, I think it is more complicated than that, which is why I think this is feminist and good for her because like all of the men in this movie do brave things and they make mistakes. And all of the women in this movie do brave, strong things and they make mistakes too. And that's because they're all human beings. They're all human characters who have strengths and flaws. And I think that's what real feminism is that
Yeah.
we're all human beings. So yes, this is good for her, horror for me. It's also just so fucking good. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't think there's a bad Scream movie. This is a conversation for another day, but I also don't think I said Jurassic Park 5 is garbage. I do think that's a bad Jurassic Park movie. But even in the worst Jurassic Park movie, dinosaurs are fucking cool.
Dinosaurs.
Yep, that's it.
I
You
legitimately
know?
want to watch all these fucking movies. Like I don't there's some points that you mentioned that I need to see what you mean. What
Dude, the Indominus Rex is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool monster. That's in Jurassic World. And then the Spinosaurus or Spinosaurus. I I'm telling you, once you have kids, you learn all these dinosaurs that you never knew existed. And then is it Diplodocus or is it Diplodocus? Is it Paralophosaurus or so it's just,
a lot of
dinosaurs are cool.
Latin in dinosaur learning. So
Dude,
Yeah.
I know. And
Yeah.
then there's one that's just called like an Andrewsaurus, which I love because this guy, Andrew, just discovered it. And I was like,
fuck Andrew.
Andrewsaurus, it's cool. I would die for an Androsaurus because that is probably easier for me to spell. But would we die for this movie? Let's find out in our next category. Die for me.
Look at her. I would die for her. I would kill for her. Either way, what bliss.
Hold on to your butts, everybody. Just let me light my cigarette and do a whole bunch of hacker shit that I hate. Also, just the fact that Lexi is a hacker, that is such a 90s
know.
thing. And I
Such a
love
90s
so
thing.
when Samuel L. Jackson is like, man, I hate this hacker shit. Like, he shouldn't have to lower himself to doing the hacker shit that ends
Yeah.
up saving the day. I just love it so much. And the quote, Mr. Hammond, I think we're back in business. I think I've talked about that before because I always forget Hammond's name. And I start to launch into this quote and I say, Mr. And then I have to back out of it. It's so sad. Okay, Shelby, are you going to die for Jurassic Park?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sitting on the toilet. The T-Rex is coming toward me. I will die for this movie.
When you gotta go, you
Um,
gotta go.
When you gotta go, you gotta go, Our favorite himbo says. So yeah, yes. I have nothing else. I said it all already. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm dead. Mm-hmm.
Rachel, are you going to die for Jurassic Park?
What if I said no?
I know. You're like,
Like-
well, I don't know. It's got some third act problems.
know,
Velociraptor would be opening your
yeah.
door as we speak.
Mhm.
It's like, it just really is just hard to buy into this idea that this is plausible. It's a little far-fetched for me.
Mhm.
And I'm like, well, actually, some of the science, just kidding. Not a woman in STEM. So cannot speak to that. No, this movie rules. It's so fun. The locations, the music, the dinosaurs, the characters, like everything about it is just so, so fun. And just really the peak of like, I mean, movies in the 90s, like big cinematic blockbuster kind of things. And it couldn't be a better time because I cannot wait to see Disclosure Day from Steven
Yes,
Spielberg.
from Steven Spielberg, starring young Prince Charles from The Crown and our famous Rat Man crush from
Yes. You
Talented.
know, that Steven Spielberg guy, I think he's gonna be okay.
I think he's gonna do
He's
good
gonna I
things.
think he's gonna make it. He
Yeah.
knows
Do
what
hope
he's doing.
Disclosure Day is good.
I do too. I
I'm
hope
a
it's
little
good.
worried.
At least I
I'm
know, yeah.
cautiously optimistic because he does Aliens real good. But
True. But, you know, he doesn't have a flawless record.
no,
But
no, he does
when you
not.
directed Jurassic Park and Jaws, again,
Yeah. We're gonna
follow
give
you
you a
off a
shot.
cliff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then that's not even to mention E.T., Schindler's List, all the other great stuff. Like, I don't know.
Also, random fun fact. Somebody in my neighborhood, somebody around this general area does have a Jeep and they have painted it to look exactly
Yes!
like a Jurassic Park Jeep. And it's
Amazing.
so stupid, but I'm just like, you know what? I appreciate that you
Yeah. You know what?
completely
Spend your adult
painted your
money
car.
in that way.
Yeah. Every time you like shift your gears, just imagine that there's a T-Rex. That sequence too, it's underrated because it's pretty small, but I remember that being such a big joke of like the objects in the rearview mirror, you know, and it's
Oh,
the
yeah,
T-Rex,
that's
you
very
know.
funny.
And she like that T-Rex like sideswipes Ellie, like knocks her over too. And it's like,
Mhm.
damn, Ellie, you're strong, you know?
No, great action sequences, but also just, you know, he knows what we want. This movie knows what we want. We want dinosaurs. We get a lot of dinosaur interaction, a lot of
He
different
did the opposite
dinosaurs.
of what he did in Jaws. And I know Jaws is the whole reason.
Yes.
We don't have to get into it, but it's like he was like,
Yeah.
I didn't get to show the monster. I'm gonna
Yeah.
show all the monsters, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Nedry has a great death. You know,
Yes.
he's the bad guy. Nobody
Uh-huh.
likes him and wants him to die in like a brutal way. And I love that showdown with just him, you know, again, thinking he's better, thinking this dinosaur is stupid, thinking he's
Yeah.
so smart. And he
Mhm.
has all the money now. So like he can do whatever he wants. And like, nope, that dinosaur fucking spit in his face.
The hubris till the end when he loses his glasses and he goes, whatever, I can buy more glasses. And it's like, even, I just
What is
love
it?
it.
Stick stupid because he thinks the dinosaur's stupid and then he gets eaten. You know, I remember thinking that shaving cream, I was like, there's your sequel, man. And then it never comes back. Spoiler, the foam can of shaving cream does not make an appearance in any later sequels. So to date, now I'm sure there's another one coming because we got
Well,
ScarJo on it now. So
it's only good for 36 hours in there. So.
that's true.
That's
but Rachel,
true.
life finds a way.
Rachel.
Okay, I am going to absolutely die for Jurassic Park. I think like just
Yes.
everything about this movie is perfect. The gates, the logo, like the merch is still
score.
good. You know, the fact that it has spawned 6 sequels of varying degrees of quality, to be fair, but like because you're right. He knows exactly what we want from the story. And I think it's based on a really great story, which is part of the reason most of the other sequels are not so good, because I think Crichton really tells the heart of this story here is like, you can't control Mother Earth. And, you know, I agree. I don't know if this was intentionally feminist, but I think when you're telling a story about nature, Mother Nature, it does tend to be feminist, you know? Also, now this might be a hot take. I think this is my favorite John Williams score also. Like,
Ooh.
I don't know. I can't say if I agree because I would have to like sit down with it, but this is up
Yeah.
there.
maybe not the best, but I think it's my favorite.
Your favorite,
And I
yeah.
think I just like the da 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 da
Yeah, it
da
makes me
da
so
da. Like
happy,
it's
yeah,
just like what
yeah.
do they have in their King Kong? That's exactly the score that you need for that,
Mhm.
you know.
It is true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Listeners, what is your favorite John Williams
Oh,
score?
God,
Everyone's-
like I can't even like I don't
I
even know what
know.
I would. That's crazy.
I think
That's
I
crazy.
asked you and Mac that when we were covering Superman, and y'all were like, "Why?
Why would you
make me
do this?"
choose?" I know, yeah. So yes, I'm gonna die for Jurassic Park because it's just such a fucking good movie. It holds up. It's great.
Mhm.
But it's also there are so many layers to pull back, like the leaves that cover all of the carnage. And on that note, let's wrap up with what's coming next.
Unlock the next configuration. And then the last. No. I've done enough. Enough is a myth.
If you want to follow the show, you can do that on Twitter at the Lady K Pod and on Instagram at the Lady Killers Pod. You can find me at Jim Ferratu. You can also find me on the Losers Club, which is a podcast about Stephen King, but the boys like to talk about Jurassic Park too. We do have some episodes on Jurassic Park, the movie and the book. I'm told there are lots of dinosaur sounds and that it was 3 hours of very bizarre and fun times. So check those episodes out. Again, we do have a whole other Patreon spinoff of the Crichton cast, which covers some Crichton books too, because Randall is a huge Crichton cast fan or Michael Crichton fan. And then, but right now we are talking about ranking Stephen King's books. And we also just covered Dinah's Hat, which is a news story he published in The Atlantic. So that was fun. And we ranked his favorite towns, baby. And that was really fun because brackets are super fun. And you can also find me and Rachel and Shelby talking about The Boys because Shelby just joined us for an episode on season 5 of The Boys, a retrospective, if you will. And that is on our podcast, The Girls on the Boys.
So fun. Oh,
It
man.
was so much fun, yes, and it was nice to finally have, like, a fulsome conversation with you about the deep too,
Yeah.
because talk about our other favorite himbo,
Mhm.
Rachel, where can listeners find you?
Over on Halloweenies this month, we are covering The Omen 4. And yes, talking about Sam Neill, we covered The Omen 3 and talked a lot about him over there, and also covering Hellraiser Inferno, so that will be a delight. And then over there, the boys, prior to me joining the pod, did a whole series on Indiana Jones
That's
called
true.
Fortune and Glory. So if
Mhm.
you're like, you know what, I just need to go down a Spielberg rabbit hole, you can check that out. Still available over on the Halloweenies Patreon as well.
Have y'all covered Event Horizon yet?
They did in some capacity. I think that they did a commentary, but we've been talking about doing a rental as well. So
Ooh.
perhaps more
Ooh.
to come there too.
That is such a huge comfort movie for me, and
Mhm.
that's
love
when
that
I think
movie.
I realized, oh, maybe I can have a crush on Sam Neill. Maybe that's
But yeah,
okay,
that's allowed.
I needed to see him be evil for me
Especially
to
at
be
the end
attracted
there.
to him.
So hot.
Yeah, nobody pulls off tearing my own
It's
eyes
true.
out like Sam Neill,
It's true.
and being naked while you do it too.
Yeah.
Shelby, where can listeners find you?
You can find me on the Bloody Disgusting podcast every week. And as of this coming out, we covered the possession. So Sam
Ooh.
Neill, it's Sam Neill o'clock. And actually, as of recording this today on Sunday, it is tomorrow on Monday. I will be talking about that movie.
Dude.
I am like, I have Sam Neill fever and I'm not mad about it.
I
I
mean,
don't have
how
a
could you be
previous
mad?
recording
Sam Neill
lined up.
o'clock.
Yes,
Whew.
Sam Neill o'clock in this household. Sam Neill, if you're listening, call me.
Come on the pod.
Call me. I'm single. I don't know if you are. I actually don't know that much about you personally, but I think you own like some sort of orchard, which I'm into. So
You can make apple pie
I know.
or whatever the orchard is. I'm assuming
Whatever
it's
the
apple.
orchard is, I will make a pie out of it. Call
Look,
me.
during the pandemic, he was doing some kind of like
Right? He was
David
doing
Lynch-esque thing with his stubble
with his
and
beard.
his
Yeah,
salt
he
and
got.
pepper.
I know. Oh, I was. Yes. See, we were there. We were. It has been Sam Neill o'clock for a while now.
Yeah.
And
I
I
might
have
follow
scary
the
to.
Antichrist for him. Sorry, hot take.
If you know Sam Neill, give him my number.
Mm.
You can find me on Scary to Sleep every week. It's a lot of fun. I'm doing cool stuff on Scary to Sleep. I'm going to be doing a series this month. I think it's this month. Just look for it. I'm going to be doing a series with an author who I'm going to be highlighting his books, but I'm also going to be doing a lot of bonus episodes. So if you like guided nightmares, which are a thing I do that is like a guided meditation, except you die at the
Ooh.
end. So I take you through all the breathing exercises and everything, and I take you into your own nightmare to relax to or do whatever you want to. Yeah, so check me out there. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me on Instagram at Shelby B. Novak.
And that's it for our episode on Jurassic Park. This was so much fun. Thank you so much to my esteemed panel. I'm glad we all survived our trip to Jurassic Park because we had Shelby there to
Thank
make
God.
sure we survived.
I even snagged a t-shirt on the way out the door. Heck yes.
Thank you so much, listeners, for joining us. If you liked this episode, please give us a quick rate and review on Apple Podcasts. It does help. I know we've been talking the Spotify comments up a lot, but that Apple algorithm is still kicking, so that helps us out a lot. And we love hearing your comments. I can't remember the weird thing we asked you to chime in on today. But if you just listened to the entire episode, I'm sure you did. Who do you think the slut of the movie is?
Who was the slut of the movie?
It was some kind of dino science thing.
I think it was we were asking frog scientists
how
about
do-
something or
How do
something.
frogs
Yeah.
and dinosaurs have sex? I think maybe.
Yeah. All sorts
Anyways,
of anything.
listeners,
like
let us know.
Yeah.
We'd like to. Oh, what's your favorite Steven Spielberg score? Also, let us know. We are going to be back next week. The month is over, but the animals continue to attack. And so we persevere, we persist, if you will. But we're also going on vacation because it's summertime. So an animal is going to attack us in our next movie. And I'm very excited. Sammy will be back with us to talk about Primate because we couldn't talk about Primate without Sammy. Because I've never met anyone who rides so hard for this movie, and I cannot wait to
I
watch
still
it.
haven't seen it, and
I
I am
haven't either.
like,
I haven't either.
Oh my God.
Okay.
None of us have seen it.
3 first watches. Yeah. So
Right.
that's what we're covering next week. So until then, remember, ladies and ladies, support women's rights, support women's wrongs, and dinosaurs eat man, woman inherits the earth.